Vanessa was a model, and now Mimi was a recording artist. But Lena didn't do anything but hang out with the people who were well known. She's a socialite. Okay? She gets social and drunk. Fuck Travis Peters, Lena shouted as she barged into Mimi's apartment, shrouded in an oversized 555 sole hoodie. She flung a folded copy of the New York Tribune at Mimi's chest. What an irrelevant little prick. As Mimi bobbled the unexpected pass, the toothbrush that was hanging from her mouth fell to the floor along with a foamy string of Crest Ultra White. Who is Travis Peters? Mimi mumbled, wiping her mouth. A gossip columnist and professional fucking player hater. Lena took a seat on the black leather couch in the living room. It made noise when you sat on it, and she made a mental note to tell Mimi to ask for a furniture allowance so she could feminize the apartment. She put her Starbucks cup down on the table and started tapping a fresh box of Marlboro Lights. Marlboros. Since when do black people suck on Marlboros? She put her Starbucks cup down on the table and started tapping a fresh box of Marlboro Lights. Can a bitch have a little fun without it being all over town? Answer no. What do you think the paparazzi do? It's bitches out there that wait on you to do something dumb so they can talk about it and make money. And this is before the internet, girl. Mimi went to the kitchen and placed the newspaper on the counter. After rinsing her mouth and setting aside her pink toothbrush, she grabbed an ashtray and returned to the couch. Mimi, Lena said impatiently, you gotta read it. Read what? Mimi said, rubbing her eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. It's 10 in the morning. 10 in the morning. Mimi did a morning stretch and slumped back on the arm of the couch. I swear, girl, you are the only person I know who can be having a bad day before her day even begins. Mimi had slept most of the day yesterday after another all-nighter in the studio, and her body clock was still off. She had supplied the hook on another song that was going on the triple large 10th anniversary album featuring all the artists on the label. She wasn't even really singing. It was more like moaning. Daryl had said, pretend I'm effing you and you're about to come. What a grotesque image. She couldn't even look the studio engineer in the eye after that. And she really did have to pretend she'd never had an organism. At least not with someone else in the room. Lena flicked her lighter. Travis Peters has ruined my whole day. And for what? She said. Because I had a few drinks? She cut on the television. And panties give me yeast infections. Just get the paper and read it. Page 8. Mimi huffed and lifted herself from the sofa. She stood at the kitchen counter and opened to the page. She quickly scanned the gossip column, taking in the headlines. Then her eyes locked on a picture that was actually on the adjacent page, page 9. A picture of herself. Her heart fluttered. The second thing she noticed was her name in bold. She read, hip-hop heavyweight Lamont Jackson is branching out. He recently signed a songstress named Mimi Jean above to a deal with his triple large entertainment. The Toledo native has been in town for only a few weeks, but she seems to have gotten into the swing of New York nightlife. The statuesque 20-year-old stunner has been hitting all the hot spots with Lena. Make it a double, Whitaker. Wild child daughter of powerhouse entertainment lawyer turned Oscar-winning movie producer Marlon Whitaker and model Vanessa de la Cruz, Jackson's sister-in-law, who also took Jean on a whirlwind shopping spree last week with Jackson's Amex Centurion card. How the fuck do they know all that? I mean, how do they know all that? Somebody told them something. And then, isn't it funny how the lady Lena is so into herself? Who is Lena, y'all? But the lady Lena is so into herself that she ain't even mentioned to Mimi girl, they talking about you like drunk bitch. Who is the drunk bitch that hangs around celebrities whose father is a lawyer slash movie producer? Who is this? Jackson's sister-in-law, who also took Jean on a whirlwind shopping spree last week with Jackson's Amex Centurion card. The trio were spotted late Saturday night downing tequila shots at Swirl. Later at Lent, Whitaker inexplicably dressed like an extra from Crush Groove, spent an hour crawling around on all fours trying to locate her rhinestone-encrusted cell phone, giving a few appreciative men an X-rated peek of her denim miniskirt. Jean's album will be released next spring, but she will soon make her debut singing the hook on a song with rap superstar Super Fatty. The rap song collab will be included on the triple large produced soundtrack for the upcoming romantic comedy Good Looking, starring Morris Chestnut, Sanaa Lathan, and Taye Diggs. She's going to be the next J-Lo, Jackson told me before, adding, but Mimi can really sing. Watch out, Lamont. J-Lo holds grudges. Hopefully, Jean won't follow the lead of Miss Whitaker, who many believe has a rehab stay in her future. Bottoms up. Ooh, yikes. Ooh, shit. Yikes. Ooh. Yikes. Ooh. Bitch. I'm no lush. Lena was yelling from the living room, puffing hard on her cigarette. And that's the last time I wear a skirt. You came off sounding good, though. Mimi rushed over with the paper and spread it out on the coffee table. It says that I was doing tequila shots, she cried. I wasn't. I only had soda. Lena slowly cocked her head and cut her eyes at Mimi. Bitch, do you think these mother hunchies care if the shiz they print is accurate? Answer no. Answer no. Answer no. Kinda thinking that Mimi might be Maya. I'm guaranteed. I'm like, it goes between, like, Mimi is a combination to me of Maya and Ashanti. Mimi slowly read the paragraph again. Well, it's not like he made all this up, she said. The stuff in here about you is accurate. She sent a smirk Lena's way. Lena looked away. Yeah, Travis has spies everywhere. She glanced back and noticed Mimi wide-eyed reading the words for a third time. But it says you're going to be a big star. Focus on the positive. But how did they get this picture? Because Lamont told them where y'all was going to be and what y'all was going to do. Remember, in the beginning of the book, Lamont always tried to get the attention of Travis. His whole zhuzh is find Travis and talk about his people so Travis could write about him. And I guarantee you that Lamont might be putting some money in Travis's pocket. Lena looked away. Yeah, Travis had spies everywhere. She glanced back and noticed Mimi wide-eyed reading the words for a third time. But it says you're going to be a big star. Focus on the positive. But how did they get the picture? They have people all over, Lena said disinterestedly. A guy had snapped a few pictures of Mimi and Vanessa that night before Lena showed up. She'd thought he wanted a picture of Vanessa because she was a famous model. Vanessa made her switch places in the booth so he could get her good side. Mimi had no idea who the man was. She just smiled. You got an item in record time, Lena said, still pouring. Are you excited? Mimi stared at the picture until a smile crept across her face. It was a nice picture. She just couldn't believe it was staring back at her from the newspaper. Well, yeah, I guess I am, she said softly. It sounded more like a question than a declarative statement. Then she suddenly felt a rush of excitement. I'm going to send this to my mom, she chirped, beginning to tear the page. And Toya and Keisha, everybody in Toledo. Lena swung her leg over the table and planted her brand new Nikes on top of the paper. Don't send it to your mother. Mimi furrowed her brow and tried to smooth the page that was now ripped down the middle. She'll be so excited to see my picture, she said, in the newspaper. And it says that I have talent. Lena shot her a pitying, sidelong glance, thinking, oh God, Dorothy, don't start clicking your heels because Kansas or whatever ain't nowhere for you to be. She'll think you're here boozing it up every night. That's what it says about you, Mimi said, folding the page up. Not me. Sometimes it annoyed her that Lena wanted to call all the shots. Don't wear that. It's corny, Lena had told her the other night when they were getting ready to go out. Stop talking to that guy. He's a buster, she'd whispered when a cute guy started chatting Mimi up at the club. And an hour later, we're leaving. I'm over this place. Let me tell you what this Lena is a bitch. Lena is a stone cold drunk bitch who buys gold chains for up and coming rappers. Lena is a trick. That's what she does. She tricks up and coming rappers. But mostly, Lena was a barrel of laughs, and Mimi couldn't imagine what she would have done here if she hadn't had Lena to take her around and show her the ropes. And sometimes Mimi wondered what Lena even did without her. Lena didn't seem to have many other friends, and of course she had no job and she wasn't in school. For the first time, Mimi really understood what the term life of leisure meant. My father's gonna have a coronary over this, Lena said, sulking. He reamed my ass for a lot less than what it says in here. I would too if I were him, Mimi thought. What father wanted to read in the newspaper that his daughter was getting slammed on tequila and crawling around in public with her coochie all hanging out? Thank God he's in L.A., so maybe he won't hear about it, Lena said, the possibility making her perk up briefly. But he's got a lot of friends here, and those people just love to point a effing finger. She slunk back down and placed her hand on her stomach inside her sweats. But you got your picture in there with your first item, Lena said encouragingly. Her mood fluctuated by the second. It took me at least 5 or 6 mentions before I got a picture. Shit, 10 before I had a good picture. Mimi wasn't really sure why Lena was mentioned in the column at all. Vanessa was a model, and now Mimi was a recording artist. But Lena didn't do anything but hang out with the people who were well known. She's a socialite. Okay? She gets social and drunk and don't wear underwear and crawl around looking for their rhinestone encrusted phone with all the men's looking in her coochie. She could tell that Lena actually liked the press attention, even if it made her sound like a 12-step reject. Sounds about right. The phone rang. It was Vanessa. She asked Mimi, "Did you see the paper?" "Yeah," Mimi said, excited all over again. "I can't believe this." Vanessa snarled, "I should fire Allie C. She doesn't deserve to be called a publicist." "Believe what?" Mimi said. "They called me a model." "You are a model, aren't you?" There was an ominous pause. "I'm a supermodel. Big difference," she shrieked, and slammed the phone down. "Yeah, she hates that," Lena said sympathetically when Mimi relayed the brief phone conversation, upset that Vanessa had hung up on her. Lena stubbed out her third cigarette in 15 minutes. "Okay, get dressed," she said. "We're going to lunch. Then we'll go shopping, so we'll have some cute stuff to wear out tonight. We have to celebrate." "Celebrate what?" "Child, you got your first item," she said. "In this town, that's like having your cherry popped. And I deserve some fun after waking up to this. I'm not gonna let Travis Peters fuck with my flow." Mimi grabbed the newspaper and scurried away to change. "We'll just have to go someplace low-key so we can kick it in peace," Lena called behind her. In the privacy of her new bedroom, Mimi stared at her first bit of publicity. She skimmed both pages and came across another item that made her heart jump. Oh my God! How could Lena not have mentioned that one? She must not have seen it. Mimi had to tell her before someone else did. She crept nervously back to the living room. Lena looked up. "What?" she said, perplexed by Mimi's distraught expression. Lena, there's something in here about Crazy G," Mimi said anxiously. "Didn't you see it?"